Music has always been my passion. Many times, my colleagues call me like an alternative music classroom, where I think that's what traditional music classrooms should look like now.
Right.
But because we are using iPads and digital instruments and synthesizers, and we come from a composing side of creating music, before we learn how to notate it, we're creating with sounds. And so I connect with my colleagues by bridging what they might know from their content area and some of the things that we're doing conceptually or process-based. So with language arts teachers, I may say, when children are learning how to speak, we never ask them to write words before they explore what words or letters sound like. Point. And so we often work collaboratively. I call it a musician's workshop model. So kids are working collaboratively. We have a small launch or a mini lesson that we would do at the beginning of the classroom. Then they break off into groups. And so it's kind of this blended classroom where we have acoustic instruments, we have digital instruments, we have touch a glass and make a sound instruments. And the kids often find liberation in that fact that they have choice and voice of how they're going to express their feelings of what they hear, what they hear in their mind's ear, and express that to others who are listening. The things that we do in the classroom don't stop at our four walls. I worked with a tech coordinator, Jenna Shaw, and worked on this project called Words to Music. And so my musicians would pair up with her language arts class, and we're in different states, through Google Hangout, and they would write poetry and send it to my kids, who would be the musicians, like a recording studio would be.
Wow.
My kids would take their lyrics and kind of read through them and see how they would express and support their lyrics with sound.
What I love about what you're saying is it's rigorous, it's real, it's what people do at work.
One of the students asked, Mr. M, is this going to go on iTunes? And I said, it could.
That's great.
And they were shocked. They were shocked.
Wow.
How can we have something on iTunes? Well, we can. So we started recording our songs, and then a question came up of, what are we going to do with the money that comes from iTunes?
Of course.
Because you can put a song on iTunes, but then people buy it. So what are we going to do with the money on iTunes? I wanted to put that back on the learners.
What were their ideas?
We could buy instruments for our classroom. We could produce more CDs.
Okay.
One kid said, well, there are kids who don't have music,
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, there are. Yeah. There are kids who don't have music in school. Okay, well, what can we do about that? So then there was this grassroots learning experience happening where the empathy came out and said, look, we could write music, but what are we going to do with it?
Right.
This goes, again, beyond the walls.
Right.
So we did. We put a CD together, put it on iTunes. It's called Music to Save Music. This is what they came up with.
So we can find that on iTunes.
You can find it on iTunes.
Okay.
Music to Save, the number 2, Music to Save Music.
Okay.
So it is a CD that is original music by 4th and 5th graders, all recorded in GarageBand, all recorded in a classroom. And they called it Music to Save Music because they create music to save other people's music programs.
I love that idea.